So the big question is this: how do small businesses like yours, who feel like you're doing all the right things and going to all the right events, reach the federal buyer in a way that helps you win more contracts? That is the question, and this is the place to get your answers. My name is Neil McDonnell. Welcome to the Govcon Chamber of Commerce. Okay, let's get started. This post is designed to introduce you to the Coast Guard's forecast tool, which provides you information about opportunities that are over $250,000. Any agency's forecast is a perfect place to start doing your homework on whether they buy what you sell. It's not the only place to find opportunities, but when properly populated, it'll provide a wealth of information. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Coast Guard's forecast. First, though, this content is brought to you by the Govcon Chamber of Commerce, the only organization dedicated to the success of all small businesses in the federal space, with members from Guam to the U.S. Virgin Islands and every single state in between. Each year, roughly $125 billion is awarded to small businesses as prime contractors. Our vision is to double that number by helping small businesses truly understand the process for success. Small businesses are the backbone of America. By helping you succeed further in government contracting, we'll be helping American communities. My name is Neil McDonnell, and I've been where you are now. I've been a small business owner for 20 years, building 2 successful firms selling to the federal government. I've won subcontracts with small and large prime contractors. I've won prime contracts with defense and civilian agencies. I've done things right, and I've gotten things wrong. The one thing missing, though, for me then and you now, is an easy-to-follow process that will lead to predictable success. That's my commitment to you. I'll provide the process. If you accept responsibility and don't blame others, you'll find you have the control to change your future. There's so much to learn about the Coast Guard, and I'll use several posts to help you learn about them from a small business's perspective. In a previous post, I walked through the Coast Guard's organization from a high level, introducing you to the Atlantic Area Command, the Pacific Area Command, the Deputy Commandant for Operations, the Deputy Commandant for Mission Support, and the Headquarters Direct Report. Go watch that video to learn more about those units and offices under each of these. The Coast Guard is a component under the Department of Homeland Security, and in some cases uses their tool. That's the case here. DHS's Acquisition Planning Forecast System contains the Coast Guard's forecast. While there are 8 filters you can apply to the entire forecast, I'm only concerned about this one right now. This is the filter that allows us to select the DHS components. I typed in U.S. Coast Guard, which you can see at the top, which brought up to 6 Coast Guard offices with opportunities in each of the forecasts. The first thing I noticed is that there are almost double the number of construction projects compared to any other type. That's good for you folks who do the construction work. Now, it appears that there's about 560 opportunities available in the forecast when adding these numbers. But if you remove any that have an estimated solicitation date before January 13th, 2021, you reduce that by 200. I'll try to ask the Coast Guard to update the forecast on those 200, but pay attention yourself that some might still be active even though they're outdated. Let's go ahead and select all 6 Coast Guard components here and review the opportunities briefly. When you're on the homepage for the Acquisition Planning Forecast System, all opportunities for DHS are shown in a table format. When you apply filters like we just did, then you'll see the Coast Guard opportunities. Let me point out a few things at this table level before diving into an opportunity. At the top of the opportunities table are the field names that can be sorted if clicked. For example, I click on estimated solicitation release to show me opportunities in the future first. We can see one opportunity at the top expected in 2026, which means the person responsible was very proactive. They just awarded this particular contract in the past few months and know they're going to recompete it 5 years from now, so they put it into the future opportunity. I actually really like that. It's way better than the outdated information. On the top left of this table, there are buttons that allow you to download all this data as a CSV, Excel file, or PDF, or you can print it to paper. I prefer to download it as an Excel file to allow me to rapidly manipulate the data. The download includes all the opportunity data, not just what's seen on the table view here. To the left of each opportunity is a button to view an item's detail. Let's go ahead and click on this one here for construction project expected in 2022. First thing you see is the acquisition number and then all the details. Let me go ahead and zoom on detail and we'll talk about it a little bit. Okay, so this opportunity you can see is coming out of the component for construction and silk. And the fields that you see on the first 4 rows are pretty important to understand how this is going to be the acquisition approach. So the NAICS code they're using, in this case 541330, its contract vehicle has already been decided as GSA for the moment, right? Anytime anything's in the future, I think you can still try to convince them otherwise. The contract status is a new requirement. This is great news for those of you who don't want to face the competition of an incumbent already in there. Estimated solicitation date is for 2022, the beginning of next year. That gives you a whole year to be doing your capture on this opportunity if you want it. Over on the right-hand side, you see competition and small business program. That still hasn't been determined. And when I look down at the bottom at the estimated dollar range, 250 to 500K, there is no reason that shouldn't be already determined as a small business set aside, if not a particular program within the small business community like veteran or women. And then you got the 2 period of performance fields for when it's anticipated to be awarded, 2022, and when the contract's completed. So it's 1 year, about 250 to 500K. Below those 4, we see the title and the description, which is a good spot for you to just stop, look at it and go, does this look like the type of work I do? This isn't actually construction, like I said in the beginning, right? It's a particular part or specialty in the construction arena for inspection services. And so if that's your world, you do it. If you do drywall and you thought this was construction, you get down to this point and see inspection service, you can, beg off and say, okay, this one won't work. This one won't be for me. And then last 2 rows, you see Pam is on here. She's the small business specialist. So there's her point of contact, phone number and email, and you can reach out to her and get some details as you're moving forward, maybe get introduced to the program office. Let's look at one more similar type opportunity. I mean, similar in that it's in the Coast Guard. Okay, so we see the NAICS code is 541611. When you look at NAICS codes, remember, I don't want to go too far off topic, but remember to look at that and go, do I fit within it if I'm starting to become a big, small, if that makes sense? And if you're a relatively small business, then you want to try to get that down to the smallest one. And you'll pay attention to this in a second because this is a records management opportunity. The contract vehicle says GWAC and MAC. And what that tells me is they could have just put TBD in there. They haven't determined any vehicle. They're just saying, basically, they want to go with GSA or Oasis or whatever that's out there that is agency-wide or government-wide contract vehicle. The requirement is new. Again, that's awesome. I didn't actually choose to use 2 examples of new, but new requirements to me are always better for small businesses who are trying to get in there at the early stage. And then here you can look at the estimated solicitation date, June 30th. This is a perfect window of opportunity going after something that's 6 months out from this January 2021 when I'm recording this. That gives you a timeline of knowing when that RFP is going to drop. And then over on the right-hand side, again, it's got TBD for the small business program. I would be jumping in there trying to push this one to go small business. It's only $1 to $2 million over a few years. Well, this one doesn't make any sense because it says that the anticipated award is 4th quarter 2021, and the contract will be completed September 30th, 2021. That doesn't make any sense to me at all because in order to do this work, and I'm a records manager, I happen to have that skill set. To do this work, it's going to take you a while. I'm sorry, now I see it. The contract completed is September 2021. Period of performance is in the description going out to 2026, which is interesting, right? If I back up for a second, the previous opportunity, it says the contract is complete September 15th. And I don't know if I'm looking at a consistency in the dates, and then coming down here, it's got the period of performance. Anyways, this is exactly what I'm trying to show you is this data is great. DHS absolutely has the best forecast of any agency out there, but even their data is sometimes inconsistent or incomplete. So you need to follow up and get the data validated. An example of this is what I was just doing on the period of performance. That's clean now that I've read the whole thing, but coming down to the POC, you can see this Tammy is listed as the POC, and I did a little Google research before recording this. She used to be in the program office, and it looks like she's now retired. If I'm, doing my research correctly, she's retired. That means we need to perhaps reach out to the small business specialist, say, hey, who's taking over this person? The good news for you, though, is a lot of people will be depending on this information and not do their own homework. So if you take the time to get out there and learn who Tammy's replacement is, instead of just trying to reach her and she never responds, you'll be a leg ahead of everybody else in that particular sense. In another post, I introduced the small business specialists who support the Coast Guard buyers and acquisition personnel, walking through who they support and what they procure. Go watch that video and learn about these folks, and then reach out to introduce yourself. If you have any questions about the forecast, reach out to these folks as well. They will help you. If you found this content valuable, others will too. Please give it a thumbs up so they can find it. If you'd like to connect with me personally, do so on LinkedIn. We often do free training webinars and interview federal buyers. Make sure to sign up for the Govcon Chamber's email list to be notified about any of those opportunities at www.govconchamber.com. Finally, please consider becoming a sustaining member of the Govcon Chamber of Commerce. I'm Neil McDonnell, wishing you great success.